In one of the most heart-wrenching moments of her career, Kelly Clarkson stood on stage in Las Vegas, fighting back tears just days before her ex-husband Brandon's death. The crowd, unaware of the devastating truth, showered her with support as she sang Piece by Piece. But what made this performance so emotional wasn't just the song itself, it was the hidden pain behind it. Less than 2 weeks later, Brandon would lose his battle with cancer. And the shocking revelations about his final days would leave the world stunned. There's more to the story than just grief, though. Kelly's journey through betrayal, family secrets, and heartache goes much deeper than what we saw on stage. Let's dive into the untold details of Brandon's final years, the truth Kelly's children will likely never understand, and the shocking secrets that will change everything you thought you knew about this heartbreaking story. It was a moment that left fans speechless. Kelly Clarkson, usually so composed, stood in front of a packed crowd in Las Vegas, visibly struggling to hold back tears. She was singing Piece by Piece, a song that, for many, symbolizes the pain of losing someone. Though no one in the audience knew just how close to reality that was. But in a rare move, Kelly altered the lyrics, making them hit even harder. The change felt like more than just a tweak. It felt like a desperate plea for healing. What no one in the crowd knew was that just 12 days after this emotional performance, Brandon Blackstock would lose his battle with melanoma. The world watched in shock as Kelly navigated her grief. But what they didn't see was the heartbreak that led up to this moment. Kelly's strength was on full display, but so was the silent, unspoken fear of what was coming. It's a moment that now makes perfect sense, given the tragic events that followed. Behind the scenes, the story was far more devastating than anyone could have imagined. Brandon Blackstock had been secretly fighting melanoma, one of the deadliest forms of skin cancer, for over 3 years. While Kelly's kids, River and Remington, were aware that their dad was sick, they had no idea just how severe his condition had become. Kelly made the heartbreaking decision to protect her children from the full truth. She didn't want them to carry the weight of their father's mortality on their shoulders, so she shielded them from the severity of his illness. She cancelled her Vegas residency shows and even postponed taping her talk show to be with Brandon during his final months. The world saw Kelly's public image, her strength as a performer and mother. But behind closed doors, she was a woman torn between love and fear. She knew the reality. Time was running out. She knew that every day might be one of their last together, but she never once let her children see that fear. For River and Remington, their father's sickness seemed like a temporary struggle that would eventually get better. Little did they know, their lives were about to be changed forever. But here's where the story takes a truly painful turn. The woman who Brandon was living with when he passed wasn't just anyone. She was Brittany Marie Jones, Kelly's former assistant, a woman who had worked intimately with Kelly inside their family home for years. From 2016 to 2018, Brittany was right there in Kelly's world. She managed Kelly's schedules, set up her dressing rooms, and coordinated her tours. She knew Kelly's routines, her personal preferences, and perhaps most devastating of all, she knew Brandon. Brittany was no outsider. She was part of the family. So imagine Kelly's shock when she learned that by 2024, Brittany was no longer just her assistant. She was Brandon's partner in life and business. Brittany had moved to Montana in 2020 under the pretense of helping with Brandon's ranch. But by the time of his death, public records showed she was living in his mansion. The woman who once helped Kelly prepare for shows was now sharing a life with Kelly's ex-husband, a life she had been so intimately involved in. For River and Remington, this would have been a complete betrayal they couldn't understand. They probably remembered Brittany as just Mum's nice helper. They had no clue that this same woman was now the one Brandon turned to in his final days, both as his partner and someone running his businesses. The hurt goes even deeper when you consider Brandon's obituary. Brittany was publicly honored with a heartfelt tribute calling her his beautiful and loving partner. But Kelly, the mother of his children, the woman who stood by him for years, was nowhere to be found in that tribute. To be erased from your ex-husband's final farewell while the assistant is celebrated, that's a level of disrespect that cuts deep. As if the betrayal with Brittany wasn't enough, the divorce itself was filled with its own heartbreaking drama. Drama that Kelly worked hard to keep from her children. While their split was very public, the kids were shielded from the full extent of the chaos behind the scenes. And the truth is, the financial scandal surrounding Brandon's actions could have shattered their world. Brandon had been overcharging Kelly millions of dollars in management fees for years. He was pocketing money for deals he didn't even secure. It wasn't until 2023 that the court stepped in and ordered him to pay back $2.6 million for these unlawful charges. To put that into perspective, Kelly earned $2 million for her role on The Voice, but only $93 for her appearance at the Billboard Music Awards under Brandon's management. He was essentially stealing from the woman who had supported him and their family. But the betrayal didn't stop there. As the custody battle raged on, Kelly found herself in an impossible position. She was fighting Brandon in court over money and custody, all while trying to protect her children's relationship with him. She feared that River and Remington would one day blame her for the divorce, unaware of the full story. Kelly had to shield them from the ugly truth that their father had been financially betraying their mother for years, while simultaneously trying to maintain their love for him. It's one of the toughest situations a mother can face, trying to keep her kid's emotional world intact while dealing with personal devastation. But Kelly's main priority remained clear: her children's well-being. Even as the drama swirled around her, she did everything she could to keep their view of their father as positive as possible. When Brandon passed, the world offered its condolences, but it was the way people responded that spoke volumes. Reba McEntire, Brandon's former stepmother, posted a heartfelt message after his death, calling him special and sharing her love for his children. What stood out, though, was what Reba didn't say. She didn't address the messy details that had surrounded his final years. She focused purely on the positive memories, choosing to honor him without bringing up the painful public betrayal. This level of class in the face of grief is something that Kelly herself displayed. Throughout the entire ordeal, Kelly never publicly slammed Brandon. She didn't air the dirty laundry about his relationship with Brittany or the financial scandals. She never told her children the painful truths that would only hurt them more. Kelly chose grace over vengeance. She chose to shield her kids from the details that would have added layers of pain to their already difficult situation. In fact, she has remained remarkably dignified throughout the entire ordeal. Even when she had every reason to speak out, she opted to protect her family, her children, and herself. It's a rare level of maturity and strength that Kelly displayed, and it only makes her story all the more compelling. At the heart of everything, though, is Kelly's role as a mother, one that goes beyond the public persona of a pop star. The story of Kelly Clarkson isn't just about talent or fame. It's about her superhuman strength in the face of heartbreak. Despite everything, the betrayal, the financial scandal, the public drama, Kelly chose to put her children's emotional well-being above all else. Imagine finding out that your husband, the father of your children, was not only secretly dating your former employee, but was also betraying you financially for years. Now imagine still having to be there for your kids, to love them, to support them through their grief. That's what Kelly did. She put her career on hold, cancelled some of her biggest shows, and remained by Brandon's side during his final months. No matter the pain she was personally experiencing. This wasn't weakness, it was an incredible act of love. Kelly never once let her kids see her pain. Even when she knew that River and Remington were about to lose their father, she didn't want to burden them with the adult drama that had consumed her own life. She made sure they remembered their father as someone who loved them, without letting them know the full extent of the chaos that had surrounded him. Her actions are a testament to her strength as a mother. In a world full of public drama and personal betrayal, Kelly Clarkson emerged as not just a talented artist, but as a warrior mother whose first priority was always her kids. Kelly Clarkson's story is far more than the drama, the tabloids, or the pain that's been thrust into the spotlight. It's about the unwavering love of a mother who faced unimaginable challenges and put her children's emotional well-being above everything else. She navigated betrayal, public scrutiny, and personal heartache, all while keeping the truth hidden from her kids, to protect them from the harsh realities of adult life. As River and Remington grow up, they will remember their father as someone who loved them. They'll know him as a man who fought hard against a relentless illness, not as the figure wrapped up in the messy scandal and betrayal that had unfolded in his final years. And that's exactly how Kelly intended it. In the end, it's clear. Kelly Clarkson isn't just a brilliant singer and performer. She's a warrior, a mother who sacrificed everything for her children, who chose grace over revenge, and who kept her family intact despite the storms that raged around her. That's the Kelly Clarkson story the world needs to hear.